first position, front of the pack. And we're in front of Tsunoda, Leclerc and Norris. The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:18.9. We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Daniel, Leclerc and Yuki Tsunoda. With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. A difficult race awaits these drivers here in Monza, but glory awaits too, at the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds up to 215 and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6-mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Daniel lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Tsunoda, Albon, Norris, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Ricciardo, Théo Pourchaire, Iwasa, Doohan, Ocon, Williams, Yuri Vips, Liam Lawson, Sargent, Novalak, Stroll, Magnussen and Richard Verschoor. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc? That was a great podium in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. But the question I'm asking is which teams have got it right and which ones have got it horribly wrong?
was the fastest lap of the race so far.
And away we go, no problems, really smooth. Ferrari, no doubt, very happy with that stop.
Look after these tyres now, you want to finish the race on this compound.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Yuki Tsunoda takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Well, it's absolutely got to be Alexander Albon, no hesitation. He put in a performance today that's only going to build further upon his already growing reputation.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Not an easy decision, but you handled it well. Thanks.
Fantastic, you've got pole position.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top three. Daniel, Oscar Piastri and George Russell. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow. Welcome back to Qatar and the Lusail International Circuit, a track that has a long history for two-wheeled motorsport action. But tonight it's the four wheels of F1 that are back, and Lewis Hamilton going for another win here. We're back here in Lusail for a track that's 3.34 miles long. There are 16 turns around its unique three-prong shape and just a single DRS zone out of turn 16. It's fast and it's flowing, and there's a good overtaking opportunity with DRS down the long straight and into turn 1. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Daniel, Iwasa, Teo Pourchaire, Albon, Ocon, Ricciardo, Novalak, Doohan, Stroll, Richard Verschoor, Williams, Liam Lawson, Yuri Vips, Magnussen, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Now, let's talk about Charles Leclerc. That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. Okay, good work, great pass. Oscar is into the pit lane. Oscar in the pits. yellow flag. Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Green flag. And gap to the car in front is 3.2 seconds. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap. Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. Daniel takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Daniel.
It's time to check out the Constructors' standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Thanks for dealing with that. The department appreciate it.